Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ape and Pony Show. I continue my streak of having guests on the show that are far more intelligent and successful than me here, BP the Ape. I'm really excited to jump into a conversation with Andras Kristof, the CEO and founder of EtherCards, an OG in the space, and he and his team just doing some incredible things behind the scenes. Not necessarily covert, but I don't think has been getting as much of the attention or as is known. I know even myself, they kind of snuck up on me. So I'm really excited to do a deep dive here with Andras and get to learn more about himself, the EtherCards team, what they have going on, and in a big announcement here coming up in September. So without further ado, Andras, welcome. Thanks for joining the Ape and Pony Show, and really glad to have you.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for inviting me.
I probably didn't do the background justice. I know you've been in the blockchain space for quite some time. Do you mind just giving us your highlight reel before we jump into EtherCards and in the future? Do you mind just how did you get here? How did you find NFTs and maybe the beginning or the early days of EtherCards? How did it come to be?
Sure. I've been doing technology for more than I want to remember, startups and all kind of smaller and bigger companies. And I started to work in the blockchain space in 2013, when, as you probably well know, Bitcoin was $10 and Ethereum did not exist. So we wanted to build something, and we actually built the first Bitcoin ATM in Asia and deployed it in early 2014. After that, we wanted to see what else can be done with this technology, because it seemed extremely good and promising. And we wanted to build a system where anybody can deploy or issue their own tokens. So we forked Ripple because Ethereum did not exist yet. We removed XRP, we built in ring signatures from Monero, and we built a distributed asset management system. It went okay, it worked, and we actually got some investment into it. But later that year, end of 2014, I think, the Ethereum beta came out. And it was so much significantly better than what we built that we dropped it, and we started to work with Ethereum and with smart contracts technically since the beta days, and we have been working with it ever since. We did a lot of projects. We worked with a lot of companies. We worked with Ethereum Foundation, with Consensus, and quite a bit of other projects and companies as well. And we started to work with NFTs about 3 years ago, and we built. Of course, everybody starts with JPEGs on tokens, which is fun for the first week, but after that, it's not always satisfactory. So we wanted to see what else we can build with the technology, and we built, for example, a system that can connect physical objects with NFTs in a meaningful way. And then we built ticketing systems with NFTs. For example, we built the ticketing for the previous Ethereum DevCon, for the Osaka DevCon. And we started to work on EtherCards, on this incarnation of EtherCards, about a year ago, when we were building an educational project on Ethereum. We wanted to build a system that can be used to raise funds and to monetize any kind of projects on Ethereum or on blockchain in general, even those who are not in DeFi. But when we built it, we realized that it can be used for much more. It can be used by anybody or any entity with a community. So actors, artists, athletes, ideas, all kinds of different entities, sports clubs or galleries can issue their own set of tokens and create an engaged community and monetize that community. And this is what EtherCards is. It is technically an NFT-based monetization and funding tool with built-in community management and engagement features.
Interesting. So it's beyond just the the token or the launch of the NFT itself. Your platform even goes deeper into community management, and I assume there's I shouldn't assume, but some Discord tie-in, or how do you, can you expand on
Sure.
that community piece a little bit?
Yeah. So basically, the fundamentals of the fundamental features of the project is that we called traits. Traits are features and functions that are on the cards that are designed to make sense and create an engaging experience for that specific community for which these tokens are issued. We issued Ether cards for ourselves and for our own community. So the traits on our own Ether cards are very different from the traits on LaMelo Ball's NFTs or Steve Aoki's NFTs or Mike Tyson's NFTs. All of these were created with EtherCards technology, but the traits and the way they are presented are very different because they were created for different communities. If possible, I think, because you did mention that we are recording video, I can actually demo it in 2 minutes, if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. And we will, if you're listening to the podcast, we'll be sure to share this video clip via Twitter, or you can check it out over at our YouTube channel. But yeah, that'd be awesome. We will quick
Thank you.
here would be great.
Okay, so let me share my screen, please. Can you please allow me to share my screen?
1 second here.
You can make me a co-host that will let me share my screen.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sharing my screen now, starting broadcast. So I think you can see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
So these are the cards that we issued and released on the 15th of March when we created the drop for ourselves. That was basically the initiation of the project. These look very nice from a lot of great artists.
Multiple different artists. Is that accurate?
Yes.
On these?
Yes. We've got like 70 plus artists who participated with us to issue the original set of 10,000 Ether cards. The drop went very well. We sold about $9 million worth of cards in the first 1 day, and so it was really great and gave us a lot of exposure and a lot of potential partners as well. But let me show you what these cards can do and how they are differ from traditional NFTs. As you can see, this is one of the nice cards. It is from one of my favorite artists, Dirty Robot. This is called Wizards. You can see this card actually has two sides. You can turn it around. You can see the back. The back is actually a generative art project. We call it accidental collaboration because we commissioned 15 artists to create 5 layers each. And these layers are randomly placed on all the 10,000 cards. You can actually see the different layers by opening them up and see even the David Sabo, Zsuzsanna Tashi, and the rest of the artists who created the layers.
That's
but
awesome.
Fundamentally, thank you. Fundamentally, these layers are still just a vanity. They don't actually have much functionality other than creating some very exciting potential gamification within the system. The more important part is the traits. These are the 15 traits on this card. Traits, as I mentioned, features and functions that make sense in the context of the specific community. So these cards are created for our own community. These traits make sense in our own context. For example, Reforge. Reforge is a trait that you can activate and burn. And when you do that, the system will re-roll your layers, so you will get a different accidental collaboration on the back of your card. Our drop is a passive trait. Every drop that is going to happen on our platform a few NFTs from every drop will be reserved for this special use, and the cards, Ether cards with the airdrop trait, will receive from time to time free NFTs from different drops by different artists. Free ticket in as long as there are participating ticketing events. If you buy a ticket for those, it could be a raffle, it could be a game or something, you will get an extra ticket for free. Disco Dropper is a fun experiment. It's basically this trait will drop a random discount coupon on your card from time to time. True name is a simple burnable trait. If you burn it, you will be able to rename your card to whatever you want. As you can see, many of these traits are pretty much helping to gamify and to engage the community. There is more than 70 traits. I don't want to obviously list them all. Maybe one more, this is interesting. This is a punk battle ticket. As long as you have one of these on your card, you will be able to enter an online game where you need to fight against others, and the winners will be they can actually win an actual CryptoPunk. We have 30 CryptoPunks, which will be given away this or that way to the community in September and in October. So I think that is quite unprecedented to have a 30 CryptoPunk giveaway, and I am really looking forward to that. So as you could see, these cards are quite nice and dynamic. And we are actually issuing our own self-service platform. So you will be able to create your own issuance of your own set of cards with your own set of traits and own set of arts. We are also working on to make sure that these cards look good, not only on your platform, but also if you see the same card on OpenSea, excuse me, then you can see that it retains most of its dynamic nature, even on OpenSea, including looking at the traits. And soon you can actually engage with the traits as long as you obviously own the card. And so basically that was the very short demo that I wanted to give, just to explain how traits work and how traits actually provide extra utility to the cards. Or to the NFTs that are placed upon. And again, there are many more traits that make sense for different use cases. For example, the redeem trait. You may have a trait on your card, and if you click on that, you will be taken to a website where you can put in your shipping information, and a specific item will be shipped for you. For example, with Lamelo Ball, you may get a jersey from his merch shop, or Steve Aoki, you may get a figurine from his new animated series. Or for example, if we are talking about that, there is this upcoming drop, which is actually coming tomorrow, I think, from Dirty Robot. If I may show it to you, this is called Seasons from Dirty Robot, who is a fantastic artist, by the way, and he created 4 cards for summer, and he will create 4 cards for autumn, for winter, and for spring as well. So this is the first drop with the summer cards. As you can see, it's beautiful pieces of art, and each card will come in 2 versions, a day and a night version. If you collect the day and the night version of the same card, you will be able to forge them in the Time Forge and create a card that changes all over the day. Based on your local time, you will see the appropriate coloring for the appropriate time. And if you put together all the 4 different cards, then they will fit together. Yes, you can see 20 hours. Then you can fit it together and create an image like this. This is the completed summer image. And when you have this, it will actually change from the early morning version, automatically will change. This is morning, noon, afternoon, and all into the night. And of course, there will be traits on this as well. For example, the first 100 who uses the time and the space forge to create this full image, they will be able to get an actual high quality print from Dirty Robot with their signature and a serial number. So this is a very fun application, a very beautiful application of EtherCard's technology in Dirty Robot's drop. As
It's
you can
incredible.
see, thank you very much. As you can see, dirtyrobot.com, this is not on our page. What we are building is a platform as a service, so everything is deployed and created for them. The same thing, Steve Aoki got his NFTs on his own domain. Lamello got his NFTs on his own domain. So that is basically what we are building. It's a platform as a service.
So, and I want to, quick question, if I could, about the
yes, please.
Dirty Robot drop. I'm just curious to make sure I got it right, and then back to the platform. But on the drop tomorrow, if I understand it, like if you had, let's say, the day and the night of the same card, those are like a static NFT, and then you forge them, and it creates a dynamic NFT that will go from, depending on the time of the day, whether it be morning or night or afternoon. That's wild. Where does that, so the NFT itself, would that be something that would, whether you're on the Dirty Robot site, you could see it, or OpenSea, I'm imagining?
The actual sale will be on OpenSea.
Okay.
So I think it will be great.
And then sorry, go ahead.
Then the forges will be on dirtyrobot.com.
Okay.
So you will have a visual graphical interface where you will see the appropriate cards that are actually applicable. You will drag the cards into the appropriate places. They will be forced together, burned, and you will get the new NFT, which is the changing NFT.
And then it takes how many of those to create the larger, more of like banner type image?
8.
8 total?
8 total, because day and night, 4 times.
Got it. Yeah, very cool. That to me, that looks almost like the size of a Twitter banner, which I think they've seen a few times. Is like an underserved, all these avatars, all these profiles, but I have seen very few, if any, quality banner type projects. So very interesting there.
One interesting thing, since you mentioned avatars, that we are also working on. Collaborating with Dirty Robot on his own avatar project, which is going to be called Wizards, Dirty Robots Wizards, and it will be absolutely dynamic, and it's going to be technically an RPG game within an avatar project. I think it's going to be awesome.
So this is incredible, and as I mentioned, I even myself have been vastly underestimating what you're building at EtherCards. On its surface, it really looks like what you described earlier, a platform that's, a full, self-service, NFT in a box almost, where someone, whether they're an artist, a creator, an athlete, a big corporate brand, could reach out, work with EtherCards and launch their new NFT. Where I think I was underestimating was really that white glove service, and it doesn't just end there. It's not just helping them create the token, and I assume you work with them on this. Is the contract baked into the platform? Do they need to know do they need to have a dev on their team, any coding, or is that essentially going through your service? It handles the majority of that.
It is almost completely development free for them. And even when the self-service platform will be out end of September, early October, if it looks like we are on track, actually, you will be able to use a web interface with drag and drop interfaces to build your own collection. And when we are happy with it, everything will be done with our backend service, so that your contracts will be deployed, the appropriate front ends will be deployed, the appropriate backends will be deployed as well.
Can I ask, and I probably should have asked this pre-show, not to put you on the spot, but can you kind of speak to the model? And we don't need to get into maybe specifics on pricing and how that works, but if I'm a creator, an artist, is it, we reach out, we talk, and it's, you prepare a quote or a bid? Is it how does, like, I guess, pricing, if someone's interested, or what should they do to find out more?
Until now, because we actually had to engage with every single drop, I mean, it also depends on the drop, but in general, I would say it's simply 10% of what you make from the NFT sale, of your NFT sale.
Yeah.
But I expect that to significantly go down with the self-service platform out, because our engagement will significantly go down as well.
That's great.
What we are trying to do here is create a way to monetize projects that are hard to monetize. Many times you are building stuff like something for the infrastructure, something that is very useful for everybody, or simply you have a large community that loves what you do. And we want to make sure that you can actually create a sustainable and naturally growing community that gets what they want, and also it takes care of you. So that is basically the most important part of the project that we want to build. And that is for individual people or smaller entities who wants to monetize their own creativity online.
Even, I mean, even would it be appropriate for, you know, a smaller artist or someone who's maybe not necessarily looking to build a community in the thousands, or even do a 10,000 avatar project, but maybe they want to, over the next year, release a dozen pieces? Is that, would EtherCards, this new self-service platform, be something they look to for something like that?
Yes, of course, it's very possible. And the interesting part is that once you release your NFTs or you have your NFTs, you can actually add traits and engagement to the NFTs even after they were released. Because the way it works, we are not doing any gimmicky thing with the NFTs. NFTs are pure 721s or 1155s, and the traits and everything else is in proxy contracts. So it is possible to have an NFT which has been issued and minted by somebody else. As long as you own it, you can actually add traits to it. Also, you can use our platform, you issue your NFTs, you keep it simple, you don't need to add too many traits to it. But later on, when something comes up, you want to engage your community even better, you can add more traits and engagement tools.
Very cool. Very cool. What, Andras, I don't want to, I could go on and on with questions here. This is my wheels are spinning. I want to make sure we give credit to your team as well too, because just looking at the website, you've got just a phenomenal team, and a couple dozen of them, if I'm correct, that have incredible backgrounds and very talented individuals in their own right. Can you kind of speak to that, even forgetting about the projects for a minute, just about the organization that you've built already at EtherCards, and just a kind of glimpse into the team that you do have there?
Oh yeah, the core of the team with whom we started to actually work on this problem a year ago is a close-knit small group of 5 or 6 people, including the person who is dealing with all the design and all the beautiful things that we build, and including Dave Appleton, probably one of the most experienced smart contract developers out there. Just to give you an idea, I was born in 1970. Dave Appleton started to code in 1968. So he's got experience that is very difficult to match. And he has been working with smart contracts with me since the beginning. So we had a very small team at the beginning, and as we started to pick up steam and exposure, I've got some. We got very lucky, and we were able to start working together with another small team whom we know back from a couple of years ago when we were working for Consensus. We met with them there, and they joined the team. That gave us a lot of boost, and after that, I was lucky enough again to start working with a very young team of 6 people, very good developers. And with this all together, with everything else, right now we've got 25 people, dedicated people. Most of them are in technology, but we also have marketing, business development, and this team works together in a very smooth fashion. And I also need to mention Ben Ong, who is my co-founder. Basically, we started this particular company, the two of us. But this is only half of the story, because we have a great team who is very experienced and very dedicated for this, but it would be nothing without our community. We've got an incredibly good community on Discord and on Twitter, like 6,000 people on Discord, who are very engaged, extremely helpful. I actually made like 2 or 3 hires now for the company proper from the community, because they were doing so much work that I basically could not let them work for free. So they became an official part of the team as well. So we've got a very engaged, fantastic community who are helping us all the way and also keeping us in check. They sometimes can be very demanding, but this is the way it should be, I think. So I've got a very good team. With some people I'm working for, actually with some of the people in the team, I started to work like 30 years ago in different projects throughout my career. So we've got a very dedicated team, and we've got a very dedicated community. And I believe the success we have been having so far is because due to these 2 factors.
Yeah, hard to argue. Very impressive team, and for as exciting it is to hear that you've been working with some of these individuals for decades, and just the extreme talent you do have on the core team. The fact that you're hiring from within the community, that's awesome and inspiring. We're hearing it often where, hey, how do I get started in NFTs, or what do I do? Or some people looking to maybe make a career change from their traditional jobs. And I think that that's a great piece of advice, whether it's with Ether cards or another community out there that you're passionate about. Be involved, get active, add value. And there is so much, it seems to me like there is so much of a need for talent and help, and going to be so many career opportunities beyond just the investing element or the collecting element in NFTs, working with organizations who are building something really special. And to think of like, if we were in traditional startup world, to think of like these opportunities are, to get on board with, what could become like the next big startup. And you can do that with, getting active in Discord. I really think that's a part of the core of this movement we're seeing and cultural shift. And so I applaud you for doing that and being a leader in the space when it comes to, bringing that talent on board. I think that's awesome. And we'll continue to hopefully see that across projects. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah. And basically you're completely right. The way it works is, and this is basically an advice for everybody who wants to come into the spaces, that you join the community and then you claim that space for yourself. I do this and I provide so much value that it is impossible to overlook it. And then you will become part of the team. Basically, you don't wait for them to notice you, you make yourself noticed. And this is what's happening. And that's why I feel that we are extremely lucky, because we've got a community that is keep giving this kind of actions and talents for us.
I would agree. I think that is consistent across every, quote unquote, blue chip project that I am, either actively or passively, participate in a Discord or community. That is a common thread of all of them is strong communities and ones that eventually those community members who you can't ignore the value that they're adding and how much they're helping. They if there's not a role already there looking to be filled, they essentially create a role for themselves as the project in the core team grows.
Precisely.
If we can circle back to, you mentioned LaMelo Ball and Stevie Aoki. LaMelo Ball was actually one of my earlier NFT projects. Thankfully, due to by way of NBA Top Shots and my introductions to NFTs and an early Cool Cat competition, I will forever be a LaMelo Ball fan and a big cheerleader of him and his career. But can you talk to us a little bit about those partnerships with and Mike Tyson's another huge name there, and then beyond just some of the projects, some of the other, I know you've announced some other big partnerships. Can you touch on those for a few minutes?
I can, but I can't really mention names.
Okay, fair enough.
Because most of these we have signed NDAs with them, and until they decide that they are ready to disclose, we cannot actually mention. But without actually mentioning names, we've got everybody from a single person who is an indie filmmaker up to potentially companies with huge companies that billions of dollars in revenue that are interested in, and we are speaking with them. But again, until they decide so, we cannot actually disclose names.
Completely understood and respect that. And without any specifics of that project, can you maybe speak to just your vision of how you foresee those big brands, those billion-dollar brands entering the space? I know here recently we've seen Budweiser and and Arizona iced tea and some others just in terms of investing in projects, right? Their own avatar picture or their own rocket. How do you see these big brands participating in this NFT ecosystem? Whether it's something you can specifically share or even just high level, kind of what you may foresee the unfolding here over the next few years.
In that sense, this is a very, very interesting question, and we can potentially spend the rest of the time talking about this alone, but we won't. But I think they will have to understand the space. If they come in and try to apply the same old business models or same old principles to this space, it will not be successful for them. As long as they understand what the space demands and requires, I think they can make it incredibly successful for them. It's like when it happened in the early 2000s when we had the dot-com boom. Everybody and their grandmother were building web pages and web companies. A well-known example is pets.com, which made no sense, but got investments in the, I guess, tens of millions of dollars, because nobody actually understood what they are getting into. And I see a little bit the same thing here, especially with huge established businesses. They may not actually understand what they are getting into, and if they get it right, then I think they will be extremely successful. If they don't get it right and they expect this to be just the continuation of a standard marketing effort with the standard marketing tools, they may not do that well.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think when you say understand it, do you think then is it can a brand go ahead?
It is, I think the main issue is the understanding that they need to let go. They need to give up control to gain accountability. They cannot do this kind of, that the IP and everything else that they try to control the same way, because that is very alien to the space, to the NFT space, to the distributed space in general. So they need to give up control. They need to give up tight control or information, potentially even information about customers, in order to make a successful and long-lived entry into the space.
Yeah, I'm trying to struggling for the words, but thinking how a brand can successfully build that same community culture that creators, artists, and these more independent projects have. An established brand that's coming in with, presumably millions of followers and well-established brands. How they can still create what feels to be a very intimate and close-knit community in many of these spaces, right?
Like NBA Top Shots. So it is possible. It is possible to create it, but it has to be handled very carefully.
Do you see more of that, where big brands maybe partner with others like NBA Top Shots, in terms of entering in the space, right? Like, hey, we don't want to be the experts or build this community, but we want to link up with someone who's doing it or can do it, and then tie in a platform like Ether cards, and they're off to the races without having to become the experts and fully understanding what they're getting into.
I think that is the right way to do it. And for them to understand that once it is sold, it is not theirs, and it's basically like a physical object that has been sold, and you cannot claim control over it. And as long as you can work with this, and you can provide actual value for the community and keep them engaged, I think that is the key to make the project successful.
Agreed. Earlier, you mentioned the 30 CryptoPunks, and that these will be distributed, or those that your Genesis and NFT holders will have some sort of access to, or the ability to. Were those fractionalized, or
some of them?
Is that full? Okay, so some are fractionalized. Some will be like almost like a prize. You just win and get it airdropped.
Yes, that is correct.
And then can you tell us about the dust token a little bit? Do you at least maybe high level, what does that entail? And
the dust token has been in the work for a while, and we want to be very careful with that. And we only decided about its issuance because it started to make more and more sense to us. So the dust token is fundamentally going to be an ecosystem token that will help the original Ether cards holders to for example, to get discounts and get other benefits. Unfortunately, I cannot get into this too deeply because I need to. When it comes to the communication about the dust token, until it gets released, I need to make sure that I check what I say with our lawyers.
Fully understood.
One thing that also sets us apart from some of the other projects in the space, that we are not anonymous. We are fully visible, fully accountable. So we also have to be very careful when we are releasing this kind of things. So we've got a large amount of very knowledgeable lawyers helping us with these issuances. But basically, the dust tokens will be an ecosystem token that will help to gain benefits, discounts, and other things. For example, one thing that I can mention is that with the upcoming self-service platform, when there will be a list of upcoming releases of tokens and drops from different very well-known artists and other entities. With the dust token, you will be able to pre-purchase those drops, those NFTs. So you don't have to rush when the actual sale opens up. You can reserve the NFTs for yourself. So then you can just relax, and you will get the NFTs delivered to you when the drop happens.
I'm becoming a big fan of that process. I've seen it in a few others, and seems to be working very well. I saw one. I don't know what the project was, but there was a gas war that got up to like 2,700. It was just it doesn't work, right? I mean,
and this will be part of the platform as well. So if you utilize the self-service platform, this is a feature that your buyers can actually utilize automatically.
So there's even customization in terms of like the drop mechanics, not just the token, and but in those, all those websites you showed, it wasn't like ether.cards/LaMelo Ball. It was their actual website. How does that work? And I'm not technical here, I apologize, but are you forwarding another website? Is it a how does the legit, not to get in too much in the weeds, but logistically, how are you building it and it's on their domain?
Very simple. For the front end functionality, for the web interfaces, we need a set of front facing website like the lameloball.io or the others. which have the functionality to connect with the blockchain and show the appropriate information, for example, the sale information or similar things. And then, so that gets developed and deployed for the client on whatever domain they want. And then the appropriate smart contracts that actually issue the NFTs and do all the functionalities, record the trades and operate the trades, they also will get issued to that client. So technically, those people, or that person will actually have control over all the smart contracts as well. Of course, we are there if we need to, but it's theirs. And also in some cases where we need to do some aggregator servers in behind, because every important information is on the blockchain. But when you want to get out information from the blockchain, especially when you have like 10,000 cards, it can be very slow. So we've got aggregator servers who help with that. And that is also deployed for them. So they will get this whole system that consists of potentially multiple small front-end websites and small back-end websites. And this system gets deployed for them. And eventually, the self-service platform will automatically deploy all these pieces and make sure that they work well together.
It's incredible. Andras, I came into the show today thinking a good analogy might be that you were like the WordPress for an NFT project, but that would be an insult. You've got layers upon layers baked into this solution. It really is truly turnkey from it sounds end to end. I mean, I'm sure it would help to have some technical chops or have, whether it's a dev on the team to at least know a little bit of what you're doing, but you've really, it feels to me like baked out a complete end to end solution.
It is similar to that, but because of that, it is also fairly complex. Because of that, we are also a little bit later than our original timeline was. Mm-hmm. So that is something that I'm really grateful for the community to let us do it, because it is rather complex, but it is coming along well. And everything that we built so far for Lamello, for Lamello Ball, for Steve Aoki and Tyson and the others, it is actually already part of the working platform. We just did not release it in a self-service way for others to engage with it as well.
That was your beta testing this platform, and you ran these projects through the very similar or beta version of it. That's awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited for the platform, and I know some of this is going live. We're anticipating September. Do we have any specific dates or early September, late September? Do we know an ETA yet?
Yeah, I want to drop the fractionalized punks on the Ether cards early September. I don't want to commit to dates yet, but it's going to be early September. So from that point on, if you get an Ether card, there will be some punk fractions on that. The way, since we have 30 punks, I think 24 will be fractionalized. And most of the fractionalized platforms are great, but not actually applicable for this particular case, because we are not looking for a pool, because it's a pure giveaway. We don't want payments for this. So we are doing it on our own. We will issue our own ERC20. And as long as you collect the appropriate amount of ERC20s from these punk fractions, you can use one of our forges. You drop the amount of ERC20 into that forge, and the VRF contract. The VRF is the verified random number that is one of the fantastic innovations from Chainlink, our partner, by the way. So the VRF contract will pick one of the 24 punks from the vault and send it to you. So it's going to be a completely automated and completely trustless process.
Huh. And randomized to some degree. So of the 24, that's
so there is.
So, and is this on the existing Ether cards, the founder cards that you can get in the secondary market today?
Yes. Yeah. So every
what is every single one, or there has to be a certain of those traits you showed? Does it require a specific trait? Any Genesis Ether card?
No trait required. Every single Ether card will have some of the plant functions. Yeah.
Well, we don't give any financial advice on this show. Do your own research, all that. Make sure you listen to disclaimers, but would encourage everyone to check out the ether.cards, all the links we'll put in the show notes. Some really exciting stuff going on over here. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been, I'll humbly admit my confession here today is, as I mentioned, I found Lamelo's project. I hold a few of those, and I sent out a tweet about it, and someone, in a polite way, called me out that how could I be propping up, ranking Lamelo's project so high and not even giving a shout out to Ether cards. And it's like, I don't know, I wasn't even aware. I'll check it out. And so I found you indirectly via that project, and very grateful to have a chance to sit down with you today and dive deeper down the rabbit hole. Congrats on all the success, everything you've built thus far, the partnerships. I think you could probably stop and you got a tremendous trajectory, or you could probably do this in September and it takes you into that next stratosphere. But I based on our conversation today and everything I've seen, I think you're just getting started here, and I'm really excited to follow along and watch the journey here over the next few years. And I genuinely mean, I appreciate the leadership, all you're doing for the space as a whole. And
thank you.
And I believe it's leaders, innovators, visionaries like yourself that's going to push this space forward, and working with incredible teams and great communities. And I think that is at the core, the culture of that really defines a lot of this NFT space and ecosystem. So I genuinely appreciate the leadership and all you're doing for the greater good beyond just Ether cards.
Thank you very much. I truly think that we have a great team, but even that the great idea would be pretty much nothing without the community. So again, I want to thank to my team and to the community to take us this far. And maybe if you think that maybe in a month or two we can talk again and see how far we got, and I'm pretty sure we will have some even more exciting news at that time.
I would love it. Absolutely. I mean, consider open invite. We'd love to have you back on, and I will certainly be following along. And we'll include that Dirty Robot link in the show notes as well. That's it'll be, if you're listening to this recording, it's going to drop on Tuesday. What is that? Is that September 1st already?
31st, actually.
31st. August 31st.
Yeah, 31st. Yeah.
August 31st. So check that out. We'll include these links in the show notes. Andras, is there anything we didn't get a chance to talk about today? Is there any question I didn't ask you, or anything else that you wanted to share with the listeners?
No, I think it was very comprehensive, and thank you very much for that. It does show that you definitely did your own research. So thank you very much for that. I think we did talk about pretty much everything.
No, my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Really looking forward to diving into the project and your community more. I believe I did jump in the Discord, but that's again a personal struggle of mine is keeping my Discords organized and prioritized. That's another skill set I'm going through my personal learning curve in itself, is just Discord. But I know I am really grateful for your time today, and I'll look forward to the next conversation here in a few months.
Thank you. One last thing that I want to mention, that I'm very often on Discord talking with the community, but we have a special group called Ether Cards Exclusive. And in order to get into the group, into that Telegram group, Discord group, you need to have an Ether card, and then the bot will check the card and let you in. And that is one of the features of the platform, actually. So you will be able to create, for example, Discord chat rooms where you can set it up that only specific cards with specific traits will allow you entry. And in this way, you can actually create very specific communities where you can actually talk with the members of that community.
Very interesting. So if I understood that right, you could create a card. Those cards could have different traits. Let's just say there's 3 different traits, and each of those traits gave access to a different channel inside of the Discord server. Is that?
Yes, it is actually working. So if you come to the Ether Cars Discord, you will see those channels. So there is an OG channel with the OG Cars Alpha channel and Founder channel, and it's a generic Ether Cars channel where you can enter with any Ether card if you have one.
Well, if nothing else, I hope some of our listeners got something out of the conversation. If nothing else, you will likely have a new member in that Ether Cards Founders Discord. I plan to do some shopping here over the next few days. I'm like the FOMO is real. It's kicking in as the more we talk. Like, all right, we got to wrap up. I need to head over to OpenSea. But
thank you.
That's just no. It's you know, I keep thinking, wow, this is great. This is new. I haven't seen this before, and you know, the idea of like a gated Discord, certainly I've heard of that, but just the layers here of really getting specific and granular. And to think this is coming from a self-serve platform or a soon to be self-serve platform. Yeah. Oftentimes you think of those self-serve platform, it is really cookie cutter and it's copy paste. One is the same. And to think you've already thought so far ahead and already have so much customization into a platform like this is really exciting. And I'm like thinking, okay, what projects can what can I have some fun with creating just to participate in the platform? I think it's going to be, for someone like myself who I'm not a dev. I don't have that technical background or skill set, and it is again, I said earlier, the wheels are spinning. So we will. I'll look forward to joining the Discord, the special channel as soon as I can. And again, genuinely, really appreciate your time today. Community.
I'm looking forward to that.
Likewise, listeners, thanks for tuning in today. We certainly appreciate you. I hope you get a chance to check out Ether Cards and everything they're building over there. Check out their projects. As we mentioned, some really big names, and I anticipate more coming. Other than that, friends, stay bored and have a great day.
Bye-bye.